because of the film's marriage between food and love, essentially, did it take much science on your part to crack this in your presentation of those themes? Or were you surprised by how natural it felt when it came to positioning the camera above, slowly zooming in with a delicacy that and care that mirrors the care and love that's put into the cooking?
Yes, it is always a challenge to make a movie, because when you have something new, like for me, the cooking scenes, and yeah, of course, I had an idea of what I would like to have and what kind of emotion that I would like to bring to the audience. Here, for this movie, in the cooking scene, because Dodin and Eugénie, they know each other and they work with each other for a very long time. So there was a sense of harmony in the kitchen. So I need to bring it to the audience. So I had to create a kind of ballet mixing, combining their movement in the kitchen, and at the same time, having those complex camera movement to create something that is harmonious.
Mhm.
And that was something that was really difficult. But you can see that you need to have it for the audience, and that was also quite enjoyable to do, to make.
Yeah. Before you started filming the sequences involving the dishes, did it take someone explaining? I imagine you probably tasted some of these dishes beforehand, but did it take someone explaining it to you, like the flavors and the journey that you go on, very similar to the characters in this film, to capture it, to inform how you were going to move about the space?
No, no, because when I work with Pierre Gagnère, who is a great chef. He's the consultant for the movie. When we have the menu for the movie, then he cooked for me, so I can see everything. So there
Mm,
is no need of words for that, except for the ending scene. When Grimaud came with the dish, so he can
mhm,
taste at the end. Um,
mhm,
when Pierre cooked this dish for me, I asked him, "What would you say about this dish?" And then he said, some words that I collect, so
mhm,
that later I can write it into the dialogue for Dodin.
mm.
This was the only time where he's saying something about the dish. But for the rest, everything looks so obvious for me, and I think that the less we talk about it, better it is. Because the visual is quite enough. You know.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, how was the baked Alaska in person?
Oh, I like it very much because it's a quite a mysterious
Mm,
dish, because we have fire and ice at the
yeah.
same time. When you taste it and you have these layers of what's outside the meringue, and inside
Hmm.
you have the ice cream, and with
Hmm.
the taste of the outside being burned a little bit, it's quite amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved that sequence. There was a line that I was drawn to, and it happens toward the end, and it's a conversation about the taste of bone marrow. The
Yeah.
line is something like, "It takes culture and good memory to develop taste." When it
Yeah.
comes to your poetic worldview and how, obviously, just from watching this film, how deeply you feel things, what about your culture and memories have developed your taste as a storyteller?
Oh, it's difficult to the question is difficult. I think that um, my my desire to tell stories come from my father,
Mm,
because when he was young, he's an orphan. So he
mm,
was placed as how you call it, as trainee in a place where, to make clothes, and
gotcha.
yes, and at the age of 15, in his village, people collect money and give the money to him so he can walk 7 kilometers to the closest town where he would watch a movie. And then on the way back to his village, he replay all the scenes so that when he get back to the village, he can play all the roles and tell the story to the people in the village who cannot go to see the movie, so that kind of thing, it's quite it's a great inspiration for me.
The use of sounds and yummy noises are kind of your score of this film. When did that decision become like that's what you wanted to do? Like, how was it trying to, I guess, orchestrate the natural noises that are in these environments?
Yes, not normally I'm someone who really like music in film. It's
Uh-huh.
a great pleasure to use music in film. But for this movie, I didn't use music because at the end of the sound editing, because because of the cooking scenes, there is a lot of noises, being made by the characters in the kitchen, and this mixed with the sound of the nature, birds and things coming from
Yeah.
outside. I found it quite very real, and it has its own beauty, And then I thought that by putting music in there, I would add something that looks this time only a little bit artificial. That's why I prefer to stay with very natural sounds and never use sound effects, but only real sound that I mix together in a
Mhm.
certain way after having chosen the right texture, the right color of the sound, and then it creates this beauty that looks very real. Um,
Yeah.
and then I thought that I didn't need music for that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it worked beautifully. I also want to ask about some of the moments where there are silences, and you spoke about, you know, it most of it's trying to allow you to observe things without dialogue. And I love that when there are scenes with dialogue, such as one sequence between two characters talking outside in the dark pretty early on, and there are things that are said and you're bringing power to the words by allowing the audience to kind of digest those words, because they'll say something and then there'll be a pause, like a slight pause, and then you're, instead of just rolling into the next line, you allow us to kind of digest those words so the cooking analogies can just keep going. So I'm curious about like the thought that went into that when it came to the spoken language in the film, allowing the quiet moments to happen so you could bring more power to some of those words.
Oh, I don't think that I can put it better than what you did. You just say it's so perfect. What I would like to add to it is also the silence between the lines. Create the desire of the from for the audience to wait for the next line.
Mm,
So it's somehow we hang on the lips of the actors waiting for the next sound to come out. So when I work with the actors, I always tell them that the meaning of what they are going to say, they can rely on the fact that I put it already in the words, so they don't
mm,
have to express it too much, to give the meaning to it too much, but certainly they have to bring some flavor to it, the taste of the line. So I said, please take your time, taste it in your mouth, and then give it. And
mm.
then with the most beautiful texture of it, with soft talking. Don't make it loud, make it low. The mic is there for that, so make it very low, soft. And because this scene has this quality of being very tired, because they have a long day of work. So
Hmm.
now it's a moment where they rest.
Hmm.
You have a feeling of something tired going there. So we have to keep it. So low voice and etc. Keep the silence between. Take your time. That's what I gave as an indication to the actors.
Wow. I feel like I just need you by me for the rest of my life and my own observation of things. I feel like you have a very beautiful way of putting things. So thank you for that. Was there anything in the process of preparing a dish that you, because that's what's really fun about watching this film, is the process of everything, all the time and care. There's this saying about like it takes hours to make a dish. You eat it in 10 minutes and then you do the dishes. And so I like that this is going to probably cause me going forward to think about how much time and art and craft went into creating a dish. And so, was there anything that you found applicable to your own preparation of a film through the observation of the food process that you think you're going to be using going forward?
No, in fact, during the preparation, when Pierre Gagnère cooked for me for
Uh-huh.
5 days, um, it's a time for me to realize that, in fact, everything could be interesting if you find a way to show it to the audience. So I was, I stick to this idea that it's about men and women at work, doing their craft. So you need to show it precisely, and you will create this a feeling of respect for a work that
Hmm.
someone is doing. And if the audience get it, the idea is good. That I had. So it's all about this. Take time so that we have time to get the flavor of everything we can see on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. I know we're just about out of time, so I'll close out by asking, what is the taste of home to you? Like, what are those smells and flavors that make you think of home and make you dream about them in the same way that we kind of dream about these flavors going forward?
Oh, I think it's when we cook at home, there is a lot of smell, and this is something that make the feeling of home. And some dishes are very comforting, comforting, and you can be very tired when you smell that kind of smelled, and then somehow you feel protected. You feel,
Yeah.
and it's so it's, yes, cooking at home, it's so important.
Is there a specific dish that makes you think of home? Like when,
Yes, for instance, the Vietnamese soup pho,
mm,
that it's and at home my wife, she cooked not with beef but with chicken, and it's much more delicate, and it's something that I can have it every day.
yeah.